Welcome to our Mr. Jack channel. Get ready to feel the thrill with scary stories and mysteries that will get your heart racing. Don't forget to subscribe for more horror stories. During a tiring journey through a snow-covered remote area, a young man was searching for a place to rest. After hours of walking, he stumbled upon an old house that seemed to have been abandoned for years. Despite its dilapidated appearance and eerie silence, the house felt strangely welcoming and comfortable enough for him to seek shelter. Unaware of the dark history hidden within, he decided to enter and rest, not realizing that this place held secrets long forgotten. As nightfall descended, the atmosphere shifted, growing more unsettling. Strange noises echoed from above on the creaky wooden floors, like heavy footsteps following his every move. As the sounds grew louder, the man found himself unable to sleep, gripped by an overpowering sense of dread. It felt as if something unseen was lurking in the darkness, watching, waiting to reveal itself. Driven by curiosity, the man decided to investigate the source of the sounds. He walked through the dimly lit hallways, searching for the footsteps that haunted him. Suddenly, he discovered unusual snow tracks that seemed to have appeared out of nowhere, circling the house. The snow appeared fresh, as if someone had walked there recently, but he was certain no one else had come since he arrived. Growing more anxious, the man began to sense an invisible presence closing in around him. In the darkness of the snow-covered night, he realized that the house was not only abandoned, but also inhabited by an entity that had never left. Each step he took brought him closer to a terrifying truth about the last inhabitant of the old house, and he soon understood that he might never leave the place alive. In a remote village isolated by thick snow, several residents began reporting eerie sounds of children's laughter coming from outside their homes, even when no children were anywhere nearby. The laughter would appear suddenly, fading away just as quickly, always vanishing when they tried to investigate its source. Despite the peaceful appearance of the village, the unsettling sounds left everyone on edge, wondering if the cold winter had brought with it something far more sinister. One particularly cold, snowy night, a curious villager, unable to shake the eerie laughter from his mind, decided to search for the source. He ventured out into the darkness, his footsteps crunching in the thick snow, the sound of children's laughter faintly echoing in the distance. It was as if the laughter itself was teasing him, always out of reach, pulling him towards something unknown and terrifying. The air was unnervingly still, but the sound persisted, growing louder with each step he took. His search led him to an old weathered door, tightly shut and untouched by the snow that surrounded it. Something in his gut told him that this door was the key to the mystery. When he opened it, he was greeted by an icy chill that seemed to emanate from the very walls. Behind the door, there was a room filled with snow that had never melted, even though winter had been long and harsh. The room was a strange sight, frozen in time, as if the very essence of cold had become trapped within it. As he stepped further into the room, the man discovered small footprints in the untouched snow, footprints of children who had gone missing many years ago. A sudden gust of wind made the door creak shut behind him, and in that moment, the laughter grew louder, echoing all around him. It was no longer distant, but close. So close, he could feel the cold breath of the unseen children. The laughter grew more frantic, as if the lost souls were drawing near, and the man realized with a chilling certainty that he was not alone in the room. In a small town covered by thick snow, a young woman was driving home along a remote road, barely visible through the heavy snowfall. The relentless blizzard made visibility almost impossible, and the desolate road only added to the eerie feeling of isolation. Suddenly, she spotted a car parked on the side of the road with what seemed to be a driver in need of assistance. Without hesitation, she stopped her car and approached the vehicle, hoping to offer help. However, as she neared the car, she was shocked to find that it was empty. Snow had piled up on the seats and floor, while the engine was still running. The cold night air and the howling wind only added to the unsettling atmosphere. Confused and uneasy, she turned to go back to her own car, feeling like something was terribly wrong with this situation. Just as she turned around, a figure appeared behind her. It was a man, his face pale and covered in horrific fresh wounds, as if he had just survived a terrible accident. He smiled a sinister, twisted smile that sent chills down her spine. Without a word, the man vanished into thin air, disappearing as suddenly as he had appeared, swallowed by the darkness of the night. The snow continued to fall, but fear began to consume her. In the freezing dark of the winter night, she realized she was no longer alone on the road. The sound of footsteps, slow and deliberate, began to echo behind her, drawing nearer. She understood then that the figure she had encountered might not have been a living person at all,